Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called Professional Pictures. I worked in a factory years ago that had what we called the Wall of Shame. It had pictures taken by a professional photographer of all office and floor personnel. As you would expect, the floor personnel were all in dirty factory clothes, office people in dress attire. This was done when that plant opened, and new hires were sent to the photographer's studio for their picture at the end of the first year. I worked third shift and was told that I and another co-worker had to go after our shift to get it done. Tried to get out of it, but was told in no uncertain terms that we had to go. The co-worker I went with was a drinking buddy. I told him at the bar the day before to bring a shirt and tie. He asked why, and I told him it would upset the plant manager. He was in. The next morning we went to the studio, and the photographer gave us a puzzled look. He said he thought he had 2 floor workers scheduled, not office workers. For those that don't know, floor workers in most factories are considered extremely stupid, trained monkeys. I innocently said we didn't know we couldn't look nice for our pictures. He dubiously took our pictures and sent us on our way. A month later, my coworker and I were called into the plant manager's office to explain our pictures. He was ready to explode when I, again, explained we just wanted to look nice, as our pictures were being professionally taken. He turned a deep shade of red when I added I didn't know it was against the rules for floor workers to dress up for their pictures. He dismissed us while trying not to flip out on us. My friend and I barely held our laughter in as he slammed the door behind us. It gave me great amusement to look at those pictures until they closed the plant. The next story is called Credit Card Checks. Back in the late 1990s, I was doing my banking at a bank that had a unique credit card. It wasn't a normal credit card or a debit card. It was a true credit card that wouldn't let you spend more than what you had in your checking account. This meant the money was earmarked, but not deducted until the due date. One day I needed a cashier's check for $1,500 and went to a branch of my personal bank across town. I had to go to the customer service desk and requested a cashier's check, planning to pay with my credit card. The lady at the desk, who was not particularly kind, snapped at me, saying, "You can't put a cashier's check on a credit card." I understood her reasoning, but her attitude was unnecessary. Desperate to get the cashier's check, I argued a bit, but she was adamant and almost seemed to enjoy my predicament. Then she asked if there was anything else she could help with. I slid my credit card back to her and asked for a cash advance of $1,500. Back then, they used the old manual credit card imprint machines, so she had to go through the tedious process of imprinting my card, getting the paperwork approved, and doling out the cash. Once I had the $1,500 and $100 bills in my hand, she asked if there was anything else she could do. I said, yes, I need a cashier's check for $1,500. She started to repeat her earlier refusal, but stopped mid-sentence when she realized I now had the cash. Dumbfounded, she had no choice but to process my cashier's check. I walked out with the check in hand, feeling very satisfied with outsmarting her and getting what I needed, despite her initial refusal. The third story is called Black Shoes. I'm a manager, making $10 an hour with a family of 3. Thankfully, my husband makes more than that, but we have a mortgage, plus the usual bills, and we split everything proportionally to what the other makes. My dad gave me the money to buy work boots that are waterproof and non-slip 8 months ago. My other shoes were falling apart. My district saw my brown work boots and immediately questioned if they were dress code appropriate, but only mentioned the safety. She later brought up that they had to be black. After my last paycheck, I only had $25, after all my bills were paid, to last me the week. It's like this almost every check, because of food and other random expenses. So hearing the news had me sobbing. but I went online and discovered leather paint, so I decided that the best solution was to paint them. My problem went from being $54 to just $12. And yeah, I'm extremely underpaid at my job. I won't say more about the company though, to avoid trouble. The last story is called Business Environment. Many years ago, I was a trader on the floor of a commodity exchange. At the time, the dress code stated that you had to wear a shirt with a collar and a tie. This was to promote a so-called business environment. If anyone is familiar with what the floor was like back then, it was a lot of pushing and shoving, yelling and sweating, far from a so-called business environment. So me and a lot of others followed the rules to the letter. Polo shirts and Hawaiian shirts have collars. So for years, until they got rid of the rule, that's what I'd wear. An ugly Hawaiian shirt and a tie, usually with a comic book character, or some other tie like that. I never bothered to untie them. I just loosened it to slip in my pocket for the next day. A real business-like environment. They eventually got rid of the rule, but it was years later. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.